We are here talking with Josh Cooley and Lorenzo di Bonaventura, the director and the producer of Transformers 1. Now, very excited to meet you guys, and just between you, me, the four walls, Transformers 2. Like that's like I've seen the film. That's all I want to know. Where are we at with Transformers?
Well, you really got into it.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna hold my back. Just where are we at?
We're excited. We have some ideas. We've spent all our time trying to make this one good.
Congratulations.
And now we have a moment to sort of appreciate it. And one of the things that we've done traditionally on Transformers, which we've benefited from, is we've never started the next film without seeing how the audience responded to the film before. And so I think that's very different than how a lot of people will work on series like this. And so we can ingest the audience reaction, where we really succeeded, where a new opportunity lies, and then also hearing from people's enthusiasm about what it is that made them do it, so that when we go to that next movie, we might go harder in that direction because of the audience going, oh, God, we loved it. Because you make these movies for the audience.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And you're excited? You're wanting to move on, tell another story?
I love it's Optimus Prime and Megatron.
I know.
Right?
So good.
So, and there's obviously more story to tell. So
there is. And actually that brings me to the next question. So there's so many different stories about them. If you dig into the comics, the games or whatever, there are multiple different histories or versions of stories. Sometimes Megatron is a gladiator. Sometimes Optimus Prime is a librarian. How do you guys make the choice as to what version of the story that you're going to bring to the screen?
we looked at all those versions and saw, Hasbro is obviously a partner in this, and so we were able to access everything, which was great. And we decided what was the right thing for this story, and the amount of time we had to tell it. There's natural limitations, which is helpful. Otherwise, it could just kind of get off the rails. But we made the decisions based on what's right to tell the story and what's right for their relationship between these two characters. And starting out as friends, going to enemies, a very simple arc, but really a strong one. And it was what's the best way to start them off on the right foot.
And it is a really good sort of relatable arc, I think. You see, actually towards the end, there is a beautiful scene where you kind of see where they started. And last viewing of it, I actually realized that really hit me quite badly emotionally, because you've seen how badly they've fallen. Like how completely...
What's been lost.
Yeah, and that's something that we haven't necessarily seen before. In all the different versions, it's always been them at each other's throats. It's a really lovely thing, seeing you build those characters. So in terms of the writing, the building of the characters, where do you start?
Well, it's a great question, because it's also what got me into this film from the get-go, is we've always seen them as enemies. Can we sell them as friends from the very beginning? And can we make that a believable relationship right immediately, so that the audience is like, oh, I love seeing them together, with the knowledge, knowing that it's going to fall apart and it won't last. But that was the exciting thing. Also, probably the biggest challenge of the film is just making that sell that arc.
The calibration of that is very tricky. It's there's no one straw that breaks the camel's back. It's as you were saying, it's an evolution. So it's a gradual dawning that these two are headed in opposite directions.
It's also a very human story. Like you're saying, it's very relatable, and that yes, they are robots or Transformers, but we can tell a very human story in this case.
It's interesting because it's quite a film of two distinct halves. And I would say that there is a tonal shift, kind of almost dead in the middle. It affects the characters, it affects the comedy, but it also, I would say it almost affects the way the film looks and moves.
It does, yeah.
Was that a distinct choice to say, okay, we're going to change the style of animation, we're going to change the type of comedy? What was the thinking there?
Yeah, yes. I mean, with animation, everything's intentional, because nothing is, nothing is off the cuff or in the moment. But so you have to think about every single breath that the character makes, every single particle and speck. And so, it was, the tone needed to shift, because these characters are going to become enemies. They're going to fight each other. A war is going to break out. And so having that moment that happens in the middle of the film where they realize everything they thought was the way it was is totally different, that's the beginning of their entire world is going to change, and for the audience as well.
You may even see it transforms.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you. I'll take my check now. The film is absolutely chock-a-block with other characters, and that's something as a fan that really got me excited, like seeing the characters in the background and going, oh, that's that person. I need to know, you're both involved with Transformers, have been for a long time. Who's your favourite weird Transformer? Like
weird one?
Yeah, the one that you're like, that is a strange character and I just love it. That you maybe put in the background.
Well, he's not in the background, but I love Shockwave.
Oh, yeah.
The guy, he's the only character that has one big eye, and he has no emotion, and,
Yep.
and like that's,
Just
I love
weird.
it. Yeah.
In fact, that's I laugh every single time he punches him.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's just something about that line. You hit me in my eye. You just go like, wait, like bring that back. It's funny. I was going to say the same character because of that. It's so different, and what's interesting about Transformers is that everybody has a favorite that's different, and for such different reasons, and that's really exciting when you work with something that people identify so strongly with.
Absolutely. I'm a big Cosmos fan. I'm a little let down that he's not there, but that's what Transformers 2 is for. We've got to wrap it up there, unfortunately, but I do have to ask one last question just about a character that I think probably should be treated with a bit more respect and maybe given a spin-off. What do we see the future of Steve?
That's so great. We love Steve.
Transformers 2.
We love Steve.
Rise of Steve?
Steve must
It's
come back.
Steve's origin story.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I'm so glad you like Steve.
Love Steve.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys. Beautiful.